What's up, guys? It's Minx. In the last video in this particular series, we actually created a sort of basic mod that gave us infinite sprint. We didn't really do much else with it. In this video, it's actually going to be pretty much just as simple. The only difference is we're going to be doing with audio files. It is a little bit more complicated, and we're actually going to be going through and creating an asset bundle, which is also fairly easy once you get used to it. So ultimately, everything will be a little easy, or fairly easy once you figure it out. Once you figure it out, then you can kind of go off and have plenty of fun with it. So let's get started with the asset bundle. Let's get that out of the way because we need to have an asset bundle to actually do anything with it. So let me actually go over to this real quick, the Unity Hub. So in the Unity Hub, I have 2 installs. I installed the latest version, or whatever that is, whatever recommended latest version, whatever it installed when I originally downloaded this. And then I have 22.3.9. I recommend using 22.3.9. It seems to be the one that works the best for this. So if you don't have it, hit install editor, and it's not going to be on official releases. Find it in archive, download archive, and go to 2022 3.9. Go ahead and download it however you want to. If you've downloaded it and installed it and it's not showing up in this list, use the locate. By default, it goes into program files under Unity. So go ahead and get that and create a project. Create an empty 3D project. And once you're here, or you can pause it once you're here. Go ahead and resume and let's proceed. So once you're here, go ahead and right click on assets, create a new C# script, and we're going to call this one, what do we want to call it? Create asset bundle or something. Oops, well, that's what I get. Wait a second, rename. Actually, we don't want to create this here. Excuse me, delete that. We're going to create a new folder inside of assets and call it editor. So create a new folder, editor. Then inside of here, create a new C# script. We'll call it create asset bundle. That's fine. And once it's done that, it should kind of load, like checking stuff. And once it's done, go ahead and open it up. It should open in Visual Studio. Now, if your Visual Studio doesn't have the correct components installed, it's going to bug you and be like, hey, you couldn't open this up. You want to install this? Go ahead and install the game development with Unity or C# or whatever it calls it so that it gets off your ass about having that. Once you've done that, come back here, or reopen it, and go ahead and delete everything in this file and paste in. I'm going to leave this in the description or in a comment or maybe in a link somewhere down there. I don't know. It depends on what's available, but it'll be available there. Copy and paste that in, save it, and close out. All that does is give us the ability to actually create asset bundles because Unity doesn't just do that. Not like it's complicated or anything. So, it's a small script. It don't need to do anything. Once you click off, it should kind of load and then you'll be fine. Go back to your root directory of assets and you can either drag and drop it or let me move this over here or right click in here and do import new asset. I'm going to be using a scooby.laugh.wave file. Make sure it's .wave, not MP3, whether you got to convert it with FFmpeg or go online or whatever you got to do, Audacity maybe. Go ahead and get it to wave and drag and drop it or import it into your Unity project. Once that's done, go ahead and click on the file and select an asset bundle. I have Scoob here. I'm going to remove that and just do a new one. And I'm just going to call mine Scoob because it's Scoob. And this is going to be the name of the actual asset bundle that gets created. And if you have multiple, we're going to go ahead and select multiple of them and do the same thing for all of them. I'm only going to do one here. That's all I need. So, because it's just for testing or for this. And once you've got that set up and all of them added, go to assets and build asset bundles. If you've done everything right up to this point, you'll get that little pop-up and then it'll create a streaming folder and it should take a little longer than mine did, but it'll create that. And then once it's done, you can show and explore on the streaming folder. Inside the streaming assets, there should be a file with just what you called it. I called mine Scoob, and that's all the file is. We don't need Scoob.manifest. We don't need streaming assets or streamingassets.manifest, just the one that we created. Now let's hold on to this for a second, not do anything with it. I'm going to go to my here. I'm going to delete these. So in your BepInEx plugins folder, or wherever this is going, instead of just dropping your DLL in there, make a folder for your mod. And this is probably how you're going to want to distribute it if you distribute a mod with the bundle in it. You put the mod or the DLL and the bundle file or bundle, asset bundle, whatever, inside a folder, and the folder is the name of your mod. And your DLL can also be the name of it. But so we're going to put, in my case, I'm going to put Scoob inside of Scooby. There we go. I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to leave this here just in case I need it. I delete this, store extra copies somewhere elsewhere just in case. For now, since I know everything's good here, I'm going to close out of Streaming Assets. Now we've got a bundle. We can actually go ahead and close out of this. I'm going to minimize for now and move back to our mod. So I'm going to move this back over. Let's go ahead and load our asset bundle. I'm going to create internal static list of audio clip. It does use an array. I prefer the list, but if you want to use the array, be my guest. It's fairly similar. It doesn't really act too differently in this particular case. And then I don't think we need it now, but I'm going to add it anyway. We're going to add an internal static asset bundle reference called bundle. Probably not needed, but it is what it is. And we'll come down here, and to actually load it, we're going to say, firstly, let's go ahead and initialize sound effects equals new list, and then bundle equals, or not new, excuse me, asset bundle dot load from file, because it's a file. And this is where things get a little interesting. We have to give it a fully qualified path. What we can do is get the reference to the game file by saying Directory.Get current directory, something like that, or we can use the location of the DLL. So we're going to do that. We'll say string asset or folder location equals instance.info.location, and then we're going to say folder location equals folder location dot, what is it, dot trim end, and we're going to give it the name of our DLL. So our DLL name, in my case, it's LC tutorial mod dot DLL 2.2 char array. It needs to be a 2 char array. So it's going to remove this if it's at the end of it. The safest way to do this would be to copy and paste it from the actual name. So what this is going to do is this gets a reference directly to this DLL file. Then we get rid of the name of the DLL file from the path that we've got, and then we can say folder location plus, in my case, folder location is going to have it on the end, so we don't need that, plus the name of our asset bundle, which is, in my case, Scoob. So this should load that. If bundle is not equal to null, then we want to say bundle, well, we're going to say, if I'm not mistaken, we say our list is equal to, so sound effects is equal to bundle.load all assets of audio clip type. And we see it's tossing that error because it is passing in an array, or returning an array, excuse me. So like I said, you can use it as an array. I'm going to do .toList because I like working with lists a little more. And that's good. So we can also do an else here. We can say else. We could say mls.logError. Not log the MLS, we say. Failed to load asset bundle. And we're going to just log info here. Log info. If it succeeds, successfully loaded asset bundle. There we go. Okay, so we've loaded the asset bundle. I've gone through this already. Aside from if we made any mistakes here with like finding the file, we've done everything correctly. So if you want to test, you can build this, drop it in, and see if it prints out that it was successful or not. If it failed, start over, rebuild the asset bundle. Make sure you're getting the fully qualified path from the drive to the actual file name before you say, hey, it's not working, because you probably did something wrong. If you've got the correct path, like printed out, it's like, hey, is this, the path that I'm getting the correct one? Does the file exist? You can do a file exist check. Is all that good? Yes. Make sure your Unity version is correct. If all of that's good and your Unity version is correct, then look for help here. You can ask in the comments or wherever else there may be help available. But check those things first. Anyway, let's move on. Let's find the audio sources that we want to mess with. So we got a few different places here. I'm going to close out of these for now. I'll serve rounds open. So let's start with, because it's a little misleading, let's start with player. I want to see, I want to show you what I mean by it's a little misleading. So if we look at audio, audio is going to be the name of everything that we need because they're audio sources or audio clips. And we see we got movement audio, item audio, status effect audio, water bubbles. Now, movement's not very clear. What is movement? We walk, we jump, we crouch, we do all these things. So let's go ahead and find where movement audio is called to see what it does. So we see transmit one shot, call it passes in movement audio, and then it looks like a specific type of sound. So let's skip past that, look somewhere else. Okay, movement audio.play one shot, and it gives us a different sound. So now, if you don't know already, that should kind of point us in the right direction. Let's go back up to where it was originally defined here. That's death. Where's the sound? Jesus. There you go. Audios. It's an audio source, not an audio clip. An audio source is essentially an object that says, you can play audio from this. I will impact that audio, and I will tell it some certain things to do, but you have to pass in an audio clip. So we don't change an audio source necessarily. We can, but not for the purpose of today's video. We're going to change audio clips. Now, we could change the movement audio.audio clip because they do store audio clips. However, they don't always play their own audio clip. We don't always call movement audio.play. Instead, like what we saw here, it is calling movement audio and then giving it another audio, an audio source here. And in this case, movement audio.play one shot. It's calling it from there. So let's go look at start of round. Because there was not a single audio a clip. There was only audio sources. So let's type in audio again, and we've got an audio listener. Oh, here we go. Audio source, audio clip, source clip. We got a lot of clips here. So any of these audio clips that we override will override that exact audio clip with another sound. So the opening of the door sound, we can override that with something stupid. The ship intro, like that stupid intro thing that tells you about your new life during the contract, throughout the duration of the contract, we can do that. So we can replace all of these. So that just gives us an idea of what's going on. There are a couple things that we could replace that will work source-wise. For example, on the Bracken, the Flowerman AI, the breakneck only when it's called, it plays its own clip, which is kind of weird because it also does have an SFX thing. So it's like, what? But yeah, so let's replace the ship intro speech. That one's kind of fun. So I know we've kind of taken a long time to get to this point, but I think it's useful that we talk about those things. So let's make a new patch. We're going to call it start of round patch, because that is where it's going. This is the start of round object. And we're going to copy some things over and change them slightly. So harmony patch type of start of round. And then we're just going to copy this over because we're just going to get rid of it. So we're just going to change update to start and change infinite sprint to override audio. And instead of refloat sprint meter, we're going to do start of round __ instance lowercase. And we can say __ instance dot, and we can just type in SFX here. And we got all these different things we can change. We can change the air pressure, the alarm, the blood gore, the body collision, the change suit, the damage, disable speaker, I want to do ship intro equals tutorial mod base dot sound effects, and since it's a list, we can do 0. This would also work if it were an array. Since there's only one and it's a 0 base, we start with 0. And theoretically, if we patch this in, we should get in my case, a Scooby laughing sound when when a new game is started. So let's patch it. Copy this, paste it. Start of round. Okay. Build. Let's grab it over from here. Options refresh. Copy it into our mod folder here. So I'm pasting in a copy of this. And let's go ahead and test it out. Okay, so firstly, let's see if we got any errors with our console. Let's see, successfully loaded asset bundle. If you're seeing this, that means you've got it set up properly. And theoretically, we shouldn't have anything to worry about if you see that message. If you're seeing the error, then it's not going to work because it couldn't load it in the first place. Oh, I accidentally selected something. If you hit select like this, I think I did in the last video, just hit escape, and it'll unfreeze your game. Okay, let's go ahead and host on a new file so I can test out the audio. And I expect to get laughed at by Scooby. Nope, okay, it didn't work. Why is that? Let's see, night visions. Okay, can you freeze, please?
Where you will eat and sleep for the duration of your contract.
Looks like it's okay. Oh, I think I know. Okay, get out of here. Okay, I think I know what the issue is. I patched the start of round. We need to patch start of round patch. That is my bad. I think I've done that like 3 times now. Like before, it was just forget to patch. Now it's like, oh yeah, I remember to patch, and then I patched the wrong thing anyway. Go ahead and try again. Start. Since that world didn't save, we don't need to do anything with a save file. Speaking of which, the save file editor got an overhaul. I'm not a completely big fan of everything because you can't drag and drop the windows, but otherwise it's really good. Anyway, let's go ahead and copy in here. Confirm. Okay, let's see what happens. There it goes. Okay, that gets me every time. So that's how we replace audio files. Let's cop out of here for a second. Couple of small things. So just like we can replace these clips, we can also replace the clip that is associated with a source. So we do like instance dots. What are we in start of round? Let's find a source here. Be a source like ship 3D audio. Ship 3D audio. Dot clip. You could say the dot clip equals this. It's probably not going to work. You need to see like if ship 3D audio is, is like it has a clip that's being used, or if it's not even used in here. But you can also say ship 3D audio dot play one shot and give it the sound effects. So we could say, hey, play this sound when this happens, using that source. So we also have that capability to play sounds as well. Rather than just override existing ones, we can also tell it to play more, play different ones at other times, stuff like that. And using the source to do cool things with it rather than having to like start over from scratch. So that one's that. I was going to do another one, but I don't think it's necessary. We've learned all we need to know from this. That's like find an SFX that's used, or if you're finding like a sound that you can't figure out, find where it's called, lead it back to where the sound is saved, and find the sound there. So for example, start of round is a big one. There's another one. It looks like we have a sound manager. Does this have any audio files on it? Oh man. Let's see. Sound manager? I never even knew this thing was in here, to be honest. Here we go. Anything? Let's see, audio. Let's see if we got audio source. We've got audio clips for music. That's like background music. I don't even, Let's do audio clip to make things a little easier. So you got heartbeat clips, synced audio clips. Synced audio clips, that could be interesting. Maybe that's used for something like you just, what does it sync? Clip index. Okay, so that's just playing audio position across the server. It's not like syncing them or anything separately from existing ones. But Round Manager is probably going to have a big one as well because Round Manager is a massive part of this game. Let's find that real quick. To be clear, we're pretty much done here. So if you're not feeling like you need to stick around, you don't. But we're just kind of looking around here. First time dungeon audios. Let's do audio clip. Let's see. We've got start motor, press button, press button. There's actually not that many first time dungeon audio. Yeah, there's actually not that many. Let's do audio source. Elevator, elevator. Play random clip. That's interesting. You could also give it that too. Just play random clip and give it an audio clip. That's public static. Oh yeah, that's nice. We can just use the round manager to play random audio sources at where is it trying to even play them? What? Audio. Oh, we gave it an audio source too, so we could give it an audio source and everything. But yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Nothing really interesting. I'm surprised Round Manager doesn't have any. You'd have to search around for them and see if there's anything interesting. Different items and enemies and different things have different stuff. But yeah. So that's how we replace audio. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.